Hashtag askgojiman, can you do a video on fermented foods? Your wish is my command. Roll the titles.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you.
Welcome back. It's good to see you all again. If you haven't met before, then hi, I'm GojiMan. I'm currently finishing a Master's in Nutrition and qualifying as a Nutritionist, and next year I'll be studying for a PhD in Nutritional Science. I make vegan health and nutrition videos every single day unless I'm snowed with assignments, in which I answer your health questions under the hashtag AskGojiman. So if you have a question for me, then hashtag AskGojiman in the comments below, or alternatively send your video questions through to contact@gojimannutrition.com. So over the last few months, you will have noticed that I've talked about gut health a lot. Everything from leaky gut, SIBO, parasites, and all the way through to H. pylori. So if you're going to heal the gut and reverse any health condition, then it is essential that you get plenty of probiotic-rich foods in your diet. And by far the best options for vegans are fermented foods, so sauerkraut, kimchi, etc. So culturing and fermenting vegetables has been carried out for thousands of years and is an ancient art and one of the healthiest and cheapest home remedies for supercharging your gut health. So fermenting vegetables is an unbelievable way of preserving the nutritional profile of your food, boosting digestive enzymes, supercharging the probiotics and B vitamins, as well as imparting some unbelievable flavours into your food. Now, the nutritional profile of fermented foods is going to be super important for you if you are experiencing any digestive issues, if you are suffering with autoimmune diseases, a thyroid disease, hormone issues, or any type of joint pain. So I hear you say, what is it about fermented foods that makes them so beneficial for our overall health? Well, first things first, if you think about it logically, the intestines are the body's central hub of activity for immunity and your immune system. And your gut bacteria have a central role in your body's immunological function. You have trillions of gut bacteria that really help your body break down the foods, extract those nutrients, and also help the body produce certain vitamins such as vitamin K2 and also certain B vitamins. On top of this, your gut flora also assists with burning and storing fat, and there is obviously a lot of research emerging of the connection between the prevalence and overpopulation of bad bacteria in the gut, and also the obesity trends that we are facing today. And another thing commonly overlooked by many today is the gut bacteria's critical role in the conversion of inactive thyroid hormones into their active form, so T4 into T3. And many of you will know your gut bacteria also plays a central role in mood and mental health. And I can't tell you how many people are able to get rid of their anxiety and depression issues and come off their meds when their overall gut health is improved. So whether you have parasites, SIBO, candida, or any other type of gut issues, they are ultimately increasing the amount of inflammation and fueling that leaky gut. And when you have gut problems and leaky gut, this is often compounded by certain foods that you eat, food intolerances, stress, medications, and other types of food allergies in the body. So all of this is a vicious cycle. You develop leaky gut and inflammation from either a poor diet or gut trauma caused by antibiotics, etc. And then the gut issues are further fueled by the foods that you eat, food intolerances, and also a hypersensitive immune system. Some other massive impactors and drivers for leaky gut are also low glutathione levels in your body, which is your body's master antioxidant, and also high levels of heavy metals can also inhibit the gut fully healing. Now, all of these gut infections, food intolerances, heavy metals, etc. will all increase intestinal permeability and then allow undigested foods and proteins into the bloodstream, where the immune system then becomes overactive and then the health problems really start to kick in. So when these undigested proteins get into your bloodstream, they will likely do a number of different things. They will increase inflammation, they can trigger autoimmune issues, they can induce anxiety and depression, so they will impact on a lot of different bodily and brain functions. So the way you fix all of these issues with leaky gut, etc. is through dietary intervention and providing the gut with those targeted probiotic rich foods that can get rid of all the bad bacteria and really heal and repair the gut lining. Now, in terms of dietary changes, you obviously want to remove those problematic foods while you are repairing the gut. So typically these are soy and gluten, but can often include foods rich in oxalates, histamines, and salicylates. So when you have removed all of those antagonizing foods from your diet, fermented and cultured foods are going to be super important for getting in there and patching everything back up. They are really going to fuel the existing bacteria with the nutrients that they need. Now, I will just quickly caveat this and say that if you do have any issues with histamines, then you really want to tread carefully with fermented foods, as these will be exceptionally high in histamines. Now, histamine intolerance symptoms will include things like insomnia, anxiety, hives, rashes, dizziness, heart arrhythmias, and also fatigue. And you will notice that if you eat fermented foods or other histamine-rich foods, these symptoms will likely go through the roof. Now, this is a bit of a catch-22 situation, because if you do have gut issues and histamine problems, then fermented foods are going to be vital for patching everything up, but equally they can worsen all of your symptoms. So what do you do in this situation? Well, the option here is low histamine fermented foods, or otherwise known as anaerobic fermentation. So normally you would add your vegetables, water and salt to a jar and maybe a starter culture, and let the fermentation take place over the course of a week or so by leaving the jar out at room temperature. Now, as I've already said, for people with histamine intolerance, this is a big no-no. So for these people, what they can do is get a fermentation jar with an airlock on it to create an anaerobic fermentation. Now, if you want me to do a video specifically on making low histamine ferments, then let me know in the comments below. But essentially, the airlock helps tightly regulate anaerobic fermentation, so you get a much tighter control over the bacteria species colonizing in the jar. So if you ferment in this way, then you get those bacterial strains that are low in histamine, and you should find that even with histamine intolerance, you are able to get these probiotic rich foods into your diet. So just remember, if you have no problems with histamine, then ferment in the normal ways. And if you do have histamine intolerance, then you will need to create an anaerobic fermentation with an airlock. And I will link these jars in the description below. And as I have already said, if you want me to do a video actually making fermented food so you can see the whole process, then let me know in the comments below. So now you have made your fermented food, or you have bought a good quality fermented food, how do you then incorporate this into your diet to start getting the gut all healed up? Well, you absolutely want to be eating fermented foods on a daily basis. So start off slowly if you have gut issues, so maybe a teaspoon a day on an empty stomach, and then keep increasing this day by day, and gradually over the course of a sort of period of 4 to 6 weeks, you will see a gradual improvement in your symptoms. The only other caveat around fermented foods is for people who have SIBO. So here you need to get rid of the bacterial infection before you start introducing fermented foods into your diet. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, remember to look after your body, because it's the only place you have to live. And I'll see you next time.